So the Greens want to ban all coal mining in the Galilee Basin. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Heiser Says. Now, this article recently appeared on SBS about a ban or an attempt to ban coal mining on the Galilee Basin. Now, I wanted to share this with you because I have a lot of experience with architecture on coal mines. And I'll jump to a map here before we read the article. So here's Brisbane, this is where I live, and this is the Galilee Basin, but near it, here, you can see it here, is the Bowen Basin. Now we've designed mine industry area buildings for two big mines, and $40 million worth of buildings for two big mines and hundreds of others. But they helped me start my business, pay for my business, get married, and we had our first child during that time, and learn a whole lot of skills. So I owe a lot to the mining industry here in Queensland as an inner city architect. And the push I'm finding for inner city virtue signaling Greens voters who want to actually have a say on the outback of Australia is a bit frustrating to me. It just shows a lack of appreciation of what's actually happening in this part of the country and how much we depend on it. Because, you know, we kind of all live just on this little strip here. There's a few people over there we don't really talk about. You know, these towns here don't even warrant a mention on this map. And then, you know, you got desert in the middle. So let's have a read through this article written by Felicity Caldwell. So, I'll just check it's working good. A controversial proposal to ban mining in the Galilee Basin does not go far enough, some members of the public have argued. And when I read things like this, when I see the young Swedish girl protesting a flight, I think I saw some footage of some young prepubescent boys wanting an Aboriginal violent takeover of Australia today. It just makes me feel sad at our education system and frustrated in many ways, because just banning coal mining and losing these opportunities in an economy that's starting to slow down is not going to be a smart move. So in October, Greens MP Michael Berkman introduced a private member's bill that would ban the granting of coal mining leases for land in the Galilee Basin, and also tear up any existing leases, which would include the Adani Carmichael coal mine. So the Greens hate that mine because they're just worried about the environment. And you know, we'll have a look at the environment there in a second. We'll go for a little Google Earth adventure. So no compensation would be payable, of course not, to the mining leaseholders affected by the bill. Well, yeah, you know, socialists don't believe in compensation, and that's what the Greens are. Out of 57 submissions to a parliamentary committee considering the bill, 93% were supportive, with most contributions from members of the public. Now, this is the problem with this type of thing. Lack of participation. People just can't be bothered, really. And so the most active, vocal minorities who can actually be bothered, they get to influence what happens in our country. The silent majority need to start stepping up and saying, no, I don't want to deal with this BS. Because otherwise they'll lean on this. The politicians will use this as justification to push their ideological motives, and then we all get screwed. You get, 11,000 potential jobs disappear from the remote part of Queensland. It's just what we need. More than 20 people looked further than the Galilee Basin and argued all future coal and gas projects in Queensland should be cancelled, with most using identical wording in their submission. See, I really hope that because they used identical wording, they're going to categorize them all as just one submission and not give them the same weight. It's worrying. Where do people think work comes from? What are you going to do? What are they going to do? In these remote communities. What about all the royalties that the state can gather from this, what's going to happen to that? You know, do you think there's going to be tourism in this area? Do you think there's going to be tourism? You know what? Let's just have a look. Let's just have a look. I've got Google Earth here, and here's Bribie Island. That's near Brisbane, and we've got the Galilee Basin. Okay, let's have a look at some images of the Galilee Basin. We'll zoom in. We'll have a look. Oh, you know, it looks beautiful. Can you imagine a tourist park there or there? And that's from 2013. Oh wait, no. Okay, that's from 2016. The images are better a few years ago, but we'll see what I can find here with the historical images from 1984. Let's see, we'll go here. Have a look and see all the horrible environmental degradation that's happened in, what, 30 years? Okay, now we'll go forward in time. 95. Can't tell much difference. Really? Okay. So, we're not talking a very lush environment here. Let's see if I can find a road that we can have a look at. See if I can find a road. Nope, I can't find a road. Any pictures? That's the problem with out here. Sometimes people won't put up their pictures because they're not allowed to take cameras out in these remote areas. Here we go. Here's a picture. That looks nice. One taken by Jess. We've got an airport there. Here we go. And we've got a road here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Look at this. Google Earth drove all the way out here. I wonder if it was on the back of like a mining truck or something like that. So, that's loading up here. This is what we're looking at. This is what they're worried about. Scrub and bush. You know? Can you imagine wanting what you want to live there? What do you want to do there? Sure, we've got native plants and animals and things like that, but you know, we have environmental plans and policies in place to allow that to be dealt with. Oh, and the environmental impact of a mine here on the planet is insignificant. Be nothing. Nothing at all. Have no impact at all. But maybe we could start a eco resort here. Or maybe we could, all the green voters could come out here and do farming. What do you reckon? Cattle country. It's gotten worse now. Well, depending on where you are in the state, there's drought. So that can give you just a bit of a glimpse of the type of area that we're looking at when they're talking about these things. So let's jump back to the article. So, I believe it should be amended to prevent all new thermal coal and gas projects in Queensland to ensure we're doing all that we can to reduce the risk of dangerous climate change. Dangerous climate change. I'm going to have to do a video on climate change soon. It's just, from my experiences dealing with modeling systems, they can be easily manipulated. Every house here in the state, every apartment here in Queensland needs to have an energy rating. And it's very easy to manipulate that to get the star rating in the model for what to get the tick from the government to keep everyone happy. Doesn't mean they'll actually build it like that. Doesn't mean that it's actually accurate. And doesn't mean that it's worth the weight of the time spent in that software. So, you know, I think this climate change alarmism at the cost of economic growth and employment is dangerous and short-sighted. I know they're trying to think big picture, but not really. I look at my 5-year-old, oh, here we go, here's the emotional. I look at my 5-year-old and wonder whether he'll get to see the reef and wonder about the world he will be inheriting. Well, no, he's a cis male, isn't he? He won't be able to see anything. He'll have to work in the factories. Or no, you won't even get a job. This bill gives me hope that we could be moving in the right direction. How? What are people going to do for work? How are we going to generate wealth, resources? How are you going to pay for your food? How are you going to run the power to what? To build the solar panels that you get subsidized from the government to put on your house? Yeah. Anyway, Paul Tuttleby wanted existing coal mines to be stopped forthwith to protect what is left of our environment. I don't know, I think our environment's pretty damn good. Pretty good here in Queensland. You know, there's these things called seasons. The problem is people are now attributing every single environmental disaster to global warming or climate change. Oh, sorry, it's not global warming anymore, it's climate change. Much like back in, you know, ancient times past, if you upset the gods, you know, that flood or the drought would be the result of your sin, you know, and people would use that. Even today, there's people using the movement of the suns to justify their religious arguments and try and convert people and all these things. I see it very similar to these type of arguments. It's not enough. Several said banning future coal mines in the Galilee Basin would help Australia meet its Paris Agreement targets and called for stronger action on climate change amid droughts, heat waves, cyclones and bushfires. So putting people out of work during droughts, heat waves, cyclones and bushfires, that's going to help. You know, when you've got a drought in a whole bunch of the state, so you're going to take a group of people that can still work during a drought, mining, earning money, and then support some of these other people that are getting in trouble. And the Paris Agreement, it's been proven that it would make absolutely no difference to the planet. None at all. None at all. I'm really worried that this whole push, all of this is just going to slow down economies. They really want to reduce your quality of life. They want to slow down the economy. You know, so we can all live like in a Stone Age paradise. Or they'll think it'll be some utopia, but it'll be a declining civilization. And then you won't achieve any of the technological advancements you need to have an efficient modern civilization with minimal impact on the environment. Anthony McRae argued governments needed to be courageous in his support of the bill. Sure, mate. They need to show true leadership by doing what is best for future generations, even if it jeopardizes the immediate future of the party or individual in political terms. For the greater good. For the greater good. You need to live a shit life for the greater good. You need to pay more for your power for the greater good. You need to reduce your quality of life for the greater good. Some of the submissions arrived from interstate, including New South Wales and Victoria. However, Resolve Coal said banning Galilee Basin coal would force lower quality coal into the market and mean foregoing hundreds of millions of dollars in coal royalties. I wonder what the environmental impact of that lower quality coal into the market would be. Do you think it's going to have the same efficiencies as the higher grade coal? Think it'll burn as efficiently? I wonder. Let me know in the comments if you know the actual chemical difference. Mr. Berkman's bill will not pass, as it would need the support of the Palaszczuk Labour government. Anti-Adani activists were a thorn in Premier Palaszczuk's side during the early days of the 2017 state election campaign until she announced she would veto an almost $1 billion concession loan for Adani's rail link. I would need to look into that more, but the idea of government giving concessions to foreign organisations, you know, not a big fan of. Queensland Senator Larissa Waters has also introduced a federal bill to ban coal mining in the Galilee Basin. Oh boy. I think all these senators, they should have a quota of the maximum number of these bills they can submit, because this is just getting stupid. Queensland Resource Council, Ian McFarlane, said Senator Waters' bill would cost jobs. Yes, it would. In November, Adani announced it would self-fund a scaled-back version of its mine. However, the project remains held up with 2 key environmental plans yet to be approved, including Adani's management plan for the endangered black-throated finch. So the government is stalling. It's stalling. So guys, what do you think? Do you think we need to stop coal mining in the Galilee Basin? Do you think these are short-sighted and ideological positions that these politicians are putting forward? You know, do you want to go live in the middle of nowhere? What else is going to happen there? You're going to graze there? You know, what are you going to do? It's hot, it's shitty, boring. You know, that's why people get paid a lot to work out there, because it's not fun. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe, ding the bell if you want to see my future videos, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.